Hi,
Oh,
Denise.
he did that funny
Yeah,
blink thing again. That was
yeah, it's weird.
interesting.
Hmm.
Winked at us.
Yeah, the ghost in the machine.
Yes. Okay. Well, good morning again.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today? Oh, I really like your blouse.
Oh, thank
Are
you.
those roses?
Yes, they are.
That's
Yeah,
my
it's
favorite. That's
pretty.
why I like your blouse. It's very pretty. You look very summery.
Yeah, it's summery, it's chiffon, it's very light and flowy and yeah, it's just pretty. Something
Yeah.
different for a change.
Very nice. Very nice.
So what's on
Well,
the agenda today?
today is day 53. It's not my fault.
Excuses.
That's
Okay.
today. Not my fault.
Okay, let's see what this is all about. Um, shall I begin?
Sure. Go
Okay,
for it.
not my fault. Four of the deadliest words in the English language are, it's not my fault. When you start making excuses for why you can't succeed, you have already failed. It doesn't matter what kind of problems you had as a child, the color of your skin, whether or not your family had money, your ethnic background, or where you went to school. The only thing that really matters is your attitude. I spent a lot of years trying to figure out what makes people successful so I could tell my readers the secrets of their success. I can tell you one thing for certain. There are a whole lot of successful people who started with nothing, and there are a lot of failures who seem to have every advantage when they were growing up. They had every advantage, that is, except one. Whatever went wrong was never their fault. They never accepted responsibility for their actions. When things went wrong, someone else was always to blame. Successful people don't think that way. They take responsibility for themselves and for their people. When something goes wrong, and things always seem to have a way of going wrong, they look for a solution, not somebody to blame.
Hmm. They don't make excuses either. Instead of rationalizing why they can't do something, they search for ways to overcome obstacles. They know that just as defeat is never permanent, neither is success. It is something that is earned every day. You reach the top of your business or profession one step at a time. Big successes come from doing a lot of little things right, often for a lot longer than you expected. Successful people don't expect to go from the bottom to the top in one giant leap. They know that if they do the right thing and they do them well, they will eventually prevail. They don't expect someone else to do it for them. They don't blame their failures on on their subordinates or on circumstances beyond their control. You may find many different personality types at the top of your company, your business, or your profession, but one type you won't find is an excuse maker. They never get that far. Successful people accept failure for what it is, a learning process. Napoleon Hill said failure is nature's plan for training a person for worthwhile work in life. It is nature's great crucible and tempering process that burns the dross from all the other human qualities and purifies the metal so it will withstand all hard usage through life. Failure is the great law of resistance that makes a person stronger in proportion to the extent he overcomes his resistance.
In every failure, there is a great and lasting lesson if one will only think, analyze, and profit from it. Failure develops tolerance, sympathy, and kindness in the human heart. You will not travel very far down life's pathway before you discover that every adversity and every failure is a blessing in disguise. A blessing because it has put your mind and your body in action and thereby causes both to go through the law of use. Look back down the ages, and you will find history full of incidents that show clearly the cleansing, purifying, strengthening value of failure. When you begin to realize that failure is a necessary part of one's education, you will no longer look upon it with fear. No person ever arose from the knockout blow of defeat without being stronger and wiser in one respect or another. If you will look back over your own failures, you will no doubt see that those failures marked certain turning points in your life and in your plans that were of benefit to you. It is only through our failures that we develop the strength, courage, and wisdom to persevere until we achieve our goal in life. Failure is nature's greatest gift to those who will only accept it and learn to profit from it.
Positive action steps for today. Fix the problem instead of trying to fix the blame. Good advice. Think of every failure as a learning opportunity. Failure helps you develop the strength, courage, and wisdom necessary to succeed. You know, on the page before this, when I was reading, it made me think of alchemy. Can
Oh,
you go back to one
yeah.
page? And I was reading it and my mind was like, wow, let me see if I can
Is it
find it.
here with nature's great crucible?
Think, yes. Yes, but it really starts with successful people don't expect to go from the bottom to the top in one
Okay.
giant leap. They know that if they do the right thing and they do it well, they will eventually prevail. They don't expect someone else to do it for them. They don't blame their failures on a subordinate or circumstances beyond their control. You may find many different personality types at the top of your company, your business, or your profession. But one type you won't find is an excuse maker. They never get that far. So I think this is, yeah, successful people accept failure for what it is, a learning process. Napoleon Hill said failure is nature's plan for training a person for worthwhile work in life. Like you would have to transform, which is what alchemy is.
Hmm.
It is nature's great crucible and tempering process that burns the dross from all the other human qualities and purifies the metal so it will withstand all hard usage through life. So failures teach us how to purify the metal. I don't know.
Hmm.
You know, like it's like,
Well, to endure, right? A hard usage
ah,
through life,
yes,
that's endurance, right?
yes.
Yeah.
But that process, the crucible and tempering process, the tempering process is like when you take a piece of metal and make it really, really hot and then you can bend it,
Yeah.
so it like it's that's the alchemy. It's when you're transforming something. So to
Mhm.
take something that you think is horrible and it's a failure and to look at it as an opportunity and something great and wonderful, that's alchemy.
Yeah.
That's what I think I'm
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is really, really a great, great lesson.
Yes. And up here where it says, um, they don't expect someone else to do it for them, and they don't blame their failures on a subordinate or on circumstances beyond their control. Well, that speaks to me as being an entrepreneur. I'm the only one in my business is me. I can't blame anyone else. I can't make an excuse because you can't make an excuse to
Hmm.
yourself. That doesn't work, and I don't expect anyone else to do it. I have to do everything because there is no one else to do it, right? So, and a
Yes,
lot of entrepreneurs start out this way, and this teaches them a way to be successful, right? This leads them,
absolutely.
right?
Yes, be responsible. And I'm going to confess to all of you listening. When I was younger, maybe about, I don't know, 25 years ago, being responsible was one of the hardest things for me to take on. I really was a victim for a long time. It was extremely challenging for me to
Wow.
say, yep, it was my fault. It or yep, this happened and I just have to deal with it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, certain things happened in my life and I had to take responsibility for it. So,
Yeah,
and when when I did, my whole life just changed for the better.
of course.
Yes,
Right.
yes. So it is challenging and definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's like responsibility and discipline are things that make you successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, I think we should get on with our morning.
I know, we can chat all day. All right,
Yes.
so we'll meet again tomorrow, same time, same place.
Okay. Take care.
All
Have a
right,
good
see you
day.
then. You too,
Bye
bye.
bye.